All right, good morning, Get Wrecked for Recovery crew. So it's day 30, and even though I'm not going to Key West, I'm going to keep riding. So today, me and Brian, with Ends of the Earth Cycling, today was the day that Ends of the Earth Cycling's Key West Bike Ride 2020 was supposed to start. And so we're still going to ride today for Missio International, their ministry, and for human trafficking. That's our prayer today, is that human trafficking will come to an end. So that's our goal for today. We're going to go out to Sanibel Island. I asked Brian on the way down if that would be a possibility, and he said as long as the bridges weren't closed, that would be great. So we are going to go to Sanibel Island and Captiva, and we should get about 30 or 40 miles in, and I don't have any luggage on my bike. So I am so looking forward to riding on this day. Anyway, that's all I got for now. My goal now is to try and ride today and then leave tomorrow and go to Naples, take Alligator Alley or 41 across Florida to Miami, and then fly back home out of Miami. That's the current scenario that's playing out, unless anything changes. Either way, we should be getting here in the next 15 minutes or so to where we're actually starting our ride from. And as usual, I love you guys, and I'll see you later. All right, so I made it to Fort Myers last night with Brian Bergen, and now we're just outside of Sanibel, Florida, and this is Justin Hannikin. He is the
Executive Director of Ends of the Earth Cycling. We're an active bicycling community impacting youth globally, and we get to host Christ-centered cycling tours. Our 9th annual Key West Bike Ride was going to start this morning for the youth of Romania, and a great ministry over there called Missio Link International for the last 20 years has been helping to rehabilitate young ladies that have been in the sex trade, being sex trafficked, and incredible testimonies of not only leading them to Jesus Christ, but also discipling them and helping them to get back on their feet, and in many cases even go to college, get college degrees, and start careers.
Awesome. And I believe our scripture for the day is Hebrews 4:14 through 16.
Yes.
What are we praying for today?
We are praying to end child abuse in Romania. So that was the prayer theme for day one. 74 cyclists from all around the country were coming together to ride for Romania. And we were so excited to have Adam join the Key West Bike Ride on his journey and get to hear 1,000 miles worth of stories. And God is so good, because even though we had to postpone the Key West Bike Ride, here we are, we're riding together, and we're gonna have an amazing day and see what God has for us in Sanibel.
Amen. Hey, thanks, Justin.
Love you, bro.
Love you too,
yeah.
bro. All right, so we made it to the bridge that separates Fort Myers. This is Fort Myers Beach, way back off in the distance this way. But this separates Fort Myers from Sanibel Island. And so here's a quick video of the Sanibel Island Lighthouse, which we should be at shortly. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you later. All right, so we're here at the Sanibel Island Lighthouse, and Justin was telling me something interesting about the island.
Yeah, absolutely. So I estimate about 5,000 people live here year-round, but then during season, it actually swells to 5 times that amount. It's a great place to live, great place to ride. We left this morning out of the Bike Bistro shop, And they do rides here every Thursday night, and we like to enjoy those. And so we're here with a lot of the End Cycling crew, some of our crew members, some of our alumni, and just, man, super blessed and super thankful that Adam came down and that we get a chance to ride together in Sanibel.
Amen. Well, thanks, guys, and thanks, Justin.
Amen.
Love you guys. See you later. All right, so this beautiful strip of beach is called Captiva, and it's at the end of Sanibel Island. Brian and I went and ate lunch with the rest of the cyclists, John and Jay and Justin, at Publix, and then we brought the car back, we dropped the car back off and got off on the bikes here for an after lunch ride. Unfortunately, this is actually going to be the last day that I'm cycling. So I started praying about whether or not to continue across Alligator Alley into Miami. I had several people call me from home and say that they were concerned about me staying out. And it's really the first kind of opposition I've met where it wasn't like an attack, like a flat tire, but it was like people who were genuinely concerned. And so I called my wife, and her immediate response was, tears. That she was excited that I was coming back. So, in talking with Justin Hannikin with Ends of the Earth Cycling, he said, "Man, I'd like to buy your plane ticket home." So he hopped online, bought my plane ticket out of Fort Myers and to Mobile. I'll leave tomorrow afternoon. That's going to cut out a lot of what I wanted to do. But this trip has never been about what I wanted to do. It's been about addiction recovery and bringing awareness. And at this point in time, with social distancing and the things that are going on, it's getting harder and harder to do that. So I'm gonna take the cues. I tell you, one of the main things that really stood out and a reason why I decided to go ahead and come back was I said, "Lord, give me a sign." And so I started praying. And I realized I'd have to box my bike up in a cardboard box to get it on the plane to get it back home. And so I said, well, I need a cardboard box from a bike shop. Well, I didn't even think about that until we were out here on Sanibel Island, and we parked at a bike shop called Bike Bistro this morning. So that was just kind of more of the confirmation that I needed to do what I'm doing. The cool thing is that I get to come back to Fort Myers. Once all this is over with, they're rescheduling the Key West Bike Ride 2020 for either fall or March of next year. And the cool thing is that I get to come back to Fort Myers, which is where I'm leaving from, with Ends of the Earth Cycling when they rescheduled their Key West Bike Ride 2020, and I'll be able to actually leave from Fort Myers and finish the journey, finish the Mobile to Key West journey. I'm even considering, maybe even before they reschedule that, as long as this virus thing clears up pretty quickly, going up the eastern seaboard, potentially starting in Jacksonville, Florida, and going up to Maine, just to continue to be able to be a little light in a lost and dying world. Anyway, I'll definitely keep posting more videos of the journey back, the plane flight and those kind of things. It's all kind of changing moment by moment. But for now, as usual, I love you guys, and I'll see you later. And so that's it. Another amazing day. I can't say how thankful I am that, Justin Hannikin and Ends of the Earth Cycling agreed to pay for my plane ticket home. I can't say how thankful I am for John for providing lunch for me today. I can't say how thankful I am for Jay, who handed me a donation as we were pulling off in the car. Man, thank you so much, Jay. It was a pleasure meeting you. And I hope we get to cycle together and maybe do Ragbri in Iowa sometime soon. For Brian, providing a wonderful, beautiful place to stay for this brief respite from the storm that's going on socially. I'm excited to get back home, but I'm not excited to finish this journey early. It will continue. And again, I'm going to put out more videos of the trip home and the breaking down and rebuilding of things when I get back home. I still have more people to cycle for, so I'm going to do some local rides in Mobile, Alabama, as long as the quarantine allows me to do so, to finish out the names that I already have to cycle for. After that sunset, me and Brian came in and ate supper. He made an awesome dinner of chicken and rice. And we took the bike apart, got it boxed up. American Airlines doesn't charge the $150 that other airlines charge to ship sporting equipment or bicycles. So it's just a regular checked bag. So that's good. And we got it boxed up. I'll put it back together when I get home. I'm excited that I get to keep it. I actually considered giving it away. And while I thought about that, I want it to continue. And I think the Lord does too. He's shown me that this is the current calling on my life, to go and be the light, to go and share Jesus with a lost and dying world, to talk to more people about addiction recovery, to talk to them about the people, the loved ones that they've lost. So many that I've met. That's one thing I've run into time and time again with this, is that, I haven't heard of any personal cases of coronavirus deaths, people that I know personally who've died. I know that there are. But everyone, maybe 3 people didn't, everyone unanimously knew someone who had passed away from addiction of some kind or another. And so that just shows me how real the need is for rehabilitation, for churches, for Celebrate Recoveries, for rehab programs like the one I want to start. And that's really the whole focus of this ministry, is to build the relationships like I've made with you, to build the network like I've made with you. I guess it was just for the Lord to show me that He's willing to back me and provide whatever I need to be able to do such a thing. And so I'm excited. I don't know what the next step in the journey will be. I have my plans, as we've all seen over these 30 days. God changes those frequently, and I'm okay with that. But wow, what a good time. So many good people. I'm definitely going to have like a reflection video in the upcoming week where I just sit back and talk about the people that I've met. You know, so much didn't get on video. There were so many interactions where I got to ask people the nuts and bolts. Are you saved? Do you know Jesus Christ? Has He come into your heart? And I've had so many reactions across the board. And a lot of those were personal moments that I didn't need to be filmed. They weren't for everybody else. They were for that person. And so, you know, it's like an iceberg. We see just a little bit on the top, but there's so much more underneath the surface, and that's what this ministry has been. You guys have seen the tip of the iceberg, the people who were willing to share on video, the people who were willing to say, hey, yes, I've lost a loved one and I'd like you to speak about it. But there's so many more. There's so many more out here who are going through the same thing, and they didn't know that there's recovery options available. So, man, I'm excited to get back out. As soon as the social climate cools down, I'll be able to go back out. Again, my plans are to go to Jacksonville as soon as I'm able, and to go up the eastern seaboard to Maine and into Canada, and make a loop back down through Pigeon Forge, where I want to start the rehab, and maybe at least be able to show some pastors in the area, you know, these videos, and say to them, hey, look, this is the work I've already been doing. Addiction recovery means a lot to me. It's my personal testimony. You know, I was saved from shooting opiates and cocaine, and so I know that if God can make a way for me to escape through the cross, through Christ's blood, through Christ's death on the cross, then He's made a way to escape for everyone. And so I just want to share that. And maybe in networking in Pigeon Forge, that'll all come together. I don't know when, I don't know how. But I know that these are just the first steps in a journey, a very long journey that will last until the day I die, in doing the work of redeeming Eden. That's all I've got for tonight, folks. Got an early morning tomorrow. Got to get my boxes and my luggage to the airplane. Brian graciously gave me a suitcase that fits my kitty litter buckets, so I don't have to get rid of those. So I'll fly out tomorrow. I'll take some video of the plane flights. I actually fly from here to Washington, D.C., from Washington, D.C. to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then from Charlotte, North Carolina into my hometown of Mobile, Alabama. And again, the journey doesn't end there, guys. I'm going to continue to put videos out. I'm going to continue to record the journey of the everyday life of someone trying to set up a rehab, so that, hey, maybe this is your calling too. And maybe you want to know what's a way that you can start, like my friend that I met in Panama City. Maybe this is a way. I don't know yet. All I know is that the Lord does know, and I've watched Him provide my needs according to His riches and glory. And I know He'll do it for the rehab too. And so with that, from Fort Myers, Florida, where I'm pausing the Redeeming Eden cycling tour, as usual, I love you guys, and I'll see you later. Good night.